and the entire season sold out in 72 minutes. Soon thereafter, USA Today and a couple of other national publications did a poll, and Fenway's monster seats were rated the best seats in all of baseball, and have been selling them for a lot more than $50 since then. Everything's tiered pricing in the park, so it depends on the day of the week, the time of the year, and who the opponent is. And monster seats go from anywhere from $500 to $125. Very exclusive to get up here and watch a game. The only people that are allowed are people with a ticket. And we always recommend, if you do have tickets, come right when the gates open, an hour and a half before the first pitch, because the visiting team is usually still taking batting practice. So you do stand a good chance of getting a souvenir baseball. And the baseballs do come up here about 105 miles an hour. So I always recommend during batting practice, use the duck and crawl method for getting the ball. Just duck out of the way and then crawl on the floor and get the souvenir baseball. But just be aware, if the game's going on, it is a home run. So you really have to stand up and try to make the catch. You want to be ducking and crawling on TV. Any questions here in the Monster? You saw the first movie, Ted, the foul-speaking teddy bear. That's the tower Ted fell off of in that movie. And, of course, he fell on the Fenway turf. All the stuffing fell out of the poor little guy. But they did make Ted, too, so he was okay. Name things here at Fenway Park, of course. Right field foul pole, the Pesky pole, named after a light-hitting shortstop, Johnny Pesky. Once won a game for Mel Parnell in the 40s. By wrapping a ball off that pole. Mel kind of coined the phrase Pesky's pole, Pesky hit, kind of stuck over the years. And on Johnny's 87th birthday, the Red Sox officially made it the Pesky pole. And of course, the pole to my right is the Fisk pole, the 1975 World Series. Cincinnati Reds were leading 3-2, and they were leading 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning of Game 6. And Red Sox put a couple of base runners on. Bernie Carbo hit a dramatic pinch hit, 3-run homer, tied the game 6-6. Carlton Fisk in the bottom of the 12th, long fly ball right down the left field foul line. NBC televising the World Series. They put a camera inside the Monster as Fisk hit the fly ball that was hooking foul. Cameraman stayed on him as he went down the first baseline. I'm sure you've all seen video of Carlton waving the ball fair, waving the ball fair. 35,000 Red Sox fans waving the ball fair. And sure enough, it hit that foul pole right here to my right. The organist broke out in a chorus of hallelujah. We rushed the field, we danced, we partied till the wee hours of the morning. And then we woke up and realized it was only Game 6. And we're pressed for time on this tour, so there's no time to get into Game 7 at all. I'm sorry. We're at the highest point of Fenway, a beautiful view of the ballpark, the Boston skyline. We're looking due east. We're just beyond those tall buildings is Boston Harbor. Fenway is all natural grass. It's a Kentucky bluegrass. The infield is a clay, and the warning track is a crushed brick. Got a couple of questions coming up in terms of the beneficiaries of the Yawkey Trust. It all went to charity, and tremendous good it did inside the city of Boston, greater Boston. You can't go by a hospital or a college without seeing a Yawkey building, a Yawkey wing, a Yawkey scholar, anything like that. The money all went to charity. Any questions here on the third base roof deck? Ooh. Not me. All right, we said in the best seats in baseball money can buy. Now we're going to go around the corner and go down to sit in Fenway's press box where the print media sits covering baseball games. We like to call these seats the best seats in baseball money can't buy. But follow me around to the press box.
Down towards the center there, they had like the plexiglass, but they had the painted box numbers on the floor. The cup holders.
What do you mean, the red seats down there?
No, there are no seats. It's just like it's this.
Oh, okay,
like
so
this
it's
stuff.
I see what you're saying. So that's the head proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
outside of the green monster wall, like batting practice and then
We're going to make our way into Fenway's press box, a couple of double doors here. We turn right, then we take a left. And when we take that left-hand turn, everything on the right-hand side is private booths where the radio and TV announcers sit covering Red Sox games. We make our way a little further down on the left. We turn right, and we can have a seat where the print media sits covering Red Sox games. So follow me in the press box.
Didn't even do that the last time I did this one. They sit on the flat.
These have that are similar to this, like when we went to do a tour.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, something like that. Like, it has its own name, but you didn't nearly as good as one. Didn't see dressing room or anything like that, but we got to go and watch.
It's really neat with the Yankees. We know the truth. Too simple.
Yeah, it was similar to this, like they took us up there.
This is all one.
That was it? The one time? The one time? I don't know. That was after 100 years radio.
In all of Major League Baseball, and again, I can never remember the press box that larger than one. It totally slips my mind. And Yankee Stadium by one seat. And as you can tell, every seat is assigned here at Fenway Press Box. And it does go by seniority, so the senior members of Baseball Writers Association get to sit in the front row, and they do decide whether to open the windows or not. Those bottom third windows do slide open. And if they decide to open them up in the first inning, they remain open for the entire game. All the way down there in the left front corner or the left front row is a console. That's where the official scorer sits. Right. And so he's an employee of Major League Baseball. and he determines hits or errors. And he announces his decision by lighting up the circle H or circle E on the scoreboard, telling the world whether it was a hit or an error, based upon his opinion. And all the way down here to the right, there's usually a microphone, and that's where an employee of the Red Sox sits, who's a statistician. And they keep track of any milestones that may take place during the game. So anybody's first hit, 100th home run, 100th strikeout, anything like that, they announce it down radio and TV row here in the press box, so the media knows what just transpired. Any questions here in the press box?
More electronic.
And we're going to be right above it, but we do have a great view of it, and I don't know if it's going to stop raining by the time we get there. But if you look out in right center field, just below the Ford sign, there's one red seat. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
And that's Fenway's most famous seat. It was June 9th, 1946. Red Sox had a scheduled doubleheader against the Detroit Tigers. And doubleheaders in those days were just that. You bought a single admission ticket, you get in to see both games. Because lights didn't come to Fenway Park till 1947. And a gentleman from Albany, New York, bought a ticket to the game. His name was Joe Boucher. And he was seated in section 42, row 37, seat 21. Right where that red seat is today. He was wearing a fashionable straw cap. First inning of the second game, he was either shading the sun from his eyes or taking a nap. Either case, he did not see Ted Williams come to bat. And Ted Williams hit the longest recorded home run inside of Fenway Park. 502 feet. We know exactly how far it went because it hit Mr. Boucher right in the head. Put a hole through his straw cap, knocked him out for a minute. When he came to, a writer for the Globe was there. First thing he said is, how far does one have to sit inside of Fenway Park to be safe from Ted Williams? And he said, I'm glad I wasn't standing up. Only twice have the Red Sox purposely left it vacant. Once is the 60th anniversary, and it's just a regular bleacher seat, $30, $40, again, depending on the tier pricing. And if you ask for the red seat at the box office, they'll know which red seat you mean, not the 1,000 others. And if you do get it, just be prepared to stand up a few hundred times because people love taking pictures of the red seat. Now, but twice they purposely left it vacant. Once was the 60th anniversary. They brought Joe's family back. He had passed away years ago. They wore Red Sox shirts, straw caps, threw out the first pitch, sat in that row, and they kept the red seat vacant in memory of Joe. And then the only other time they did it was the year Ted Williams passed away. An ambassador of the Red Sox would come out, they'd move whatever party had the red seat, and then a security guard would sit next to the red seat, ensuring it remained open for the remainder of the season in memory of Ted Williams. And just a personal note, my son worked for the Red Sox for security while he was in college, and his job that summer was as a security guard sitting next to and guarding the red seat. I was one proud papa. In 1912, that was the John Taylor ownership, and everything in the lower bowl. 1934, Tom Yawkey's ownership group, and then everything on the roof above is new from 2002, the John Henry ownership group. Any questions here on the bud deck?
So this is all new up here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything on the roof, the press box, the mont, everything we've been doing, they've been doing it in stages, but it's all new from 2002. Okay, this concludes the outdoor portion of the tour. We're now going to make our way down a few flights of stairs. We end up, but these stairs are tricky, so fans do find these stairs tricky. If you're unsure yourself, please grab hold of the railing. But a few flights of stairs, we end up at a place called the Royal Rooters Club. Red Sox created it in 2012 to celebrate the 100th anniversary. It's now a restaurant for season ticket holders, but it's the closest thing we have to a museum. And beautiful photographs, nice memorabilia. As we make our way in, on the left-hand side, there's cases of signed baseballs of every World Series champion team from 1920 to the present time. So a lot of famous signatures there. Babe Ruth's bat is in a case all the way up on the left. There are restrooms available to us way up in the left-hand corner. When you're ready to exit, the stairway out is all the way up in the right-hand corner. And somewhere in your exit, you'll bump into fan photo. Again, you're under no obligation. But on behalf of Francisco, myself, the entire Red Sox team, thank you very much for visiting Fenway Park this morning. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and follow me down the road.